Oklahoma death row prisoner Julius Jones is scheduled to be put to death tomorrow afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Craig Day.
And I'm Lori Fulbright. Jones's case has gained international attention, and there are some growing protests by people who believe Jones is innocent. The state's Pardon and Parole Board did vote to grant Jones clemency earlier this month, but the final decision is up to the governor. News on 6's Jonathan Cooper joins us with a look at how this case started and how we got to this point. Jonathan?
Craig and Lori, this all started more than 22 years ago when an Edmond father was shot and killed in front of his two young children. The night of July 28, 1999, 45-year-old Paul Howell had just pulled into his parents' driveway in Edmond after taking his sister and two young daughters back to school shopping. As he got out of the car, a gunman shot Paul in the head, then stole his SUV, firing another shot as his sister and daughters rushed inside. Paul's sister, Megan Howell-Toby, will never forget witnessing her brother's murder.
Julius Jones never said one word. He just put a gun to my brother's temple and shot.
In the days that followed the murder, detectives singled in on two men, 20-year-old Christopher Jordan and 19-year-old Julius Jones. Prosecutors charged both with first-degree murder.
Sir, are you Julius Darius Jones?
Investigators found the murder weapon, red bandana, and clothing matching the shooter's description, all in Jones's parents' house. In 2001, Jordan, who says he was the getaway driver, pled guilty in exchange for testifying against Jones. A year later, a jury found Jones guilty, and he was sentenced to death despite saying he was innocent. Jones later pled guilty to a different armed robbery that happened that same summer. The murder case made headlines again, though, in the summer of 2018, when a docuseries called The Last Defense aired on national television, casting doubt on Jones's guilt. The series and Jones's supporters claim there was racial bias in the jury, that Jones was at his parents' house when the murder happened, that Jordan told cellmates in prison he framed Jones, and that there are questions about the DNA testing involved. After the series aired, the state retested the red bandana and found Jones's DNA on it. Still, in the past couple of years, more than 6.4 million people have signed a petition urging the state to stop Jones's execution, and has gained support from celebrities like Kim Kardashian West, James Corden, and Baker Mayfield, among others. Local politicians and activists have also been outspoken.
I think the clear answer is to stay that execution and don't allow him to be killed tomorrow.
On November 1st, Jones and his attorneys had the chance to make a final plea in a clemency hearing in front of the state's Pardon and Parole Board. In a 3-1 vote, the board voted in favor of a clemency recommendation to life with the possibility of parole, with some members having doubt about the evidence leading to his conviction. Ultimately, though, Governor Kevin Stitt will have the final say and either accept or deny the board's recommendation. Right now, Jones is scheduled to be executed at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Earlier this week, we spoke with his original attorney in this case. You can find that story in your News on 6 app. Meanwhile, Christopher Jordan was released from prison in 2014. Reporting live in Tulsa, Jonathan Cooper, Oklahoma's own News on 6.